Leo lived in a world painted in shades of gray. Not the city, his world, the one inside his head. He woke up with a heavy feeling, like a thick blanket he could not throw off. Sun streamed through his window and only highlighted dust motes, tiny reminders of a life that felt still and unsettled. He sat on the edge of his bed, listening to the silence. Days all looked the same. He went to work at a big, faceless company and sat in a small cubicle. Numbers meant nothing, just shapes on a screen. He ate lunch alone and watched coworkers share their stories. At night, he stared out, wondering where everyone was going and if they felt the same weight. A quiet loop of waking, working, and waiting until he almost forgot the world beyond his gray room. One Tuesday, the routine broke, not with a crash or bang, but with a small, simple thing. His computer froze. Frustration rose, hot and sharp. He took a breath. He got up. He walked past the rows of desks, the humming machines, the soft voices. He pushed open the heavy door to the stairwell. Each step was a small act of rebellion. He kept going, down to a forgotten alley. Amid neglect, a single, stubborn weed was growing, reaching for light between tall buildings. For the first time in a long time, he felt a flicker of wonder. A small crack had appeared in the wall around his heart. When Leo returned, a maintenance worker was there. His name was Arthur. He had kind eyes and a gentle smile. "There you go, son. Sometimes things need patience. A hard reset, a breath." The frustration was gone, replaced by quiet surprise. "You looked like you were carrying the world. Remember to put it down." Simple words like gentle rain on dry ground. That evening, he did something different. He watched life unfold and felt connected. Arthur's kindness had planted a tiny seed of possibility. The heavy blanket felt lighter. A single moment began to change the color of his world. The gray was beginning to fade. The next day, Leo made a small choice that felt enormous. He ate in the park, breaking a years-old pattern. Less an audience, more the edge of the stage. A few days later, he saw Arthur again. "Those are beautiful," he said. "A little life makes the whole place better." Each plant had its own needs: attention, patience, care. For the first time in years, he had a real conversation. Geraniums, ferns, a balcony garden, grandchildren. He didn't talk about the grayness, but he talked about life. A new path unfolded, one conversation at a time. A quiet path leading away from silence. One Saturday, Arthur invited Leo to a community garden. The air smelled of damp earth and herbs. People laughed, talked, exchanged advice. He felt out of place until Arthur handed him a trowel and seeds.
"There's no magic. A good home, food, water. The earth is forgiving."
Planting a possibility, weeks passed into a month. He returned again and again. He connected with other gardeners. Successes and failures shared. You can't rush a seed. Storms pass, growth returns. These lessons weren't on a screen. They were in his hands under the sun. Dirt under his nails. Warmth on his back. He felt alive. Change was not a straight line, it was a dance. There were days when the grayness returned, a stressful week, a rainy weekend, the old weight, the silence grew loud, the siren song of retreat, brick by silent brick. Then small memories surfaced, anchors in the current. They reminded him that another world was possible. Maybe not the garden today, but the plant would drink. Maybe not a conversation, but he would show up. Progress was getting back up again and again. He was learning to be his own anchor. He began to see a community, not cubicles. He noticed small stories all around him. Small words were like seeds. They grew into conversations, into connections. The biggest challenge was Clara, The old him reflected. I used to have trouble with that one too. He shared a small piece of knowledge and a few minutes of time. It was the first time she called him by his name. He gave her a stone to start her own bridge. He was building bridges, not walls. Small things growing, a kinder rhythm at work. Autumn arrived. From tiny seeds and a little care came abundance. He looked on with awe. They weren't just harvesting vegetables, but shared joy. He felt a deep sense of belonging. He invited friends over for dinner. The room filled with aroma and conversation. The heavy blanket was gone. Warm light took its place. He wasn't just hosting dinner, he was celebrating his harvest. Hope, connection, self-discovery. More beautiful than he ever dreamed. Today is October 4th, 2025. Leo wakes up. The heavy blanket is a memory without power, a simple act of care to start the day. Change isn't a cure, it's a practice. Now he has tools, he has anchors. When grayness looms, he chooses connection. Small things strung together create a new life. Not grand gestures, daily choices. One more bridge instead of one more wall. He feels part of its vast, sprawling story. The sky is full of tiny points of light, each a possibility, and he is one of them.